Hello, everybody, and welcome to Select Talk, the show where I talk about anything and everything gaming related. Now, I tried to do this with a script and with segmented paragraphs and audio files like that, but it just felt really weird and unnatural, and I don't like doing it, so don't make me do it. But I still have a script, but I'm kind of just glancing at it. I don't know. But in any case, I appreciate your patience. I'm still new to this and learning, and with this weird little introduction out of the way, I can get to talking about what I want to talk about, and that is Nintendo Switch. And before I get into that, I did want to mention this little bit of news that Nintendo came out with yesterday, and that is that the next time we're going to hear about the console is on January 12th. 2 months before the console is slated to release, might I remind you. And that is just crazy to think about. The event will be streamed live, and the presentation will include the launch date and pricing, as well as a look at the lineup of games currently in development. Now, most would say that this is a bad way of doing things, considering you're only giving people 2 months for the console to come out between when you reveal everything and it being released. But I think it's a pretty good move on Nintendo's part, to be honest. There's already a positive hype to the console, and as long as they get the pricing right and show off the a good set of games, then I think this thing has the potential to sell pretty well. Not Wii levels well, mind you, but definitely better than the Wii U. And speaking of the Wii U, how much better is the marketing just right off the bat? Even the name, Switch, gets right to the point. You switch from TV to handheld. You can play it on the TV, you switch to your handheld, you have a shit ton of control options. Whereas when they first showed off the Wii U, people weren't sure if the gamepad was its own thing or if it was an addition to the Wii. It just confused everybody. Heck, even I was confused when they first shut it off. Was the gamepad its own console? And that's what they get right in this video. It's very focused. They just focus on, hey, here's this console. It hooks up to your TV. You can detach the controllers and take it with you portably if you want. And that's all that they showed off. They didn't show off touchscreen. They didn't show off motion controls. They just showed off its main appeal. And I think that's exactly what they needed to do. And again, I think they need to get the pricing right, because if this thing is anything above $350, I think you're gonna find a lot of people unwilling to buy it. But I think that they learned their lesson as well with the 3DS, where they let the hype get to their head and they released it for, what was it, $250? And I was one of those suckers that bought it. But not a lot of people were buying it, so they had to slash the price. Now, a few things that I like about it. I love the control options, and I'll probably never use the Joy-Cons detached just because they're small and they look kind of uncomfortable. But anybody who wants to do that, more power to them. I like how easy it is to switch from TV to handheld. You just detach those little tiny controllers, you put them on the tablet, and you take it with you. It's easy as that. And this is a little bit nitpicking, but I love that the right joystick is offset, because it feels really weird when they're both level. I love the design of the console itself. No one's gonna confuse it for something else. It looks just like a tablet, and it's a tablet that hooks up to your TV. And I like the docking station as well. And it seems like a nice design. It seems like it's a snug fit for the console itself. And no one is actually sure if that docking station provides additional processing power to the console, but there are conflicting rumors. Some say yes, some say no. I think that's just one of the things that Nintendo's gonna have to clarify on the live stream when they do that on January 12th. Concerns. What is the battery life on that thing? Now, concerning the power that this thing seems to be putting out, I would be surprised if it's anything above 4 or 5 hours, and I think that would be kind of ludicrous to expect of it. But I understand, that's what people want, and it is something that Nintendo is pushing, portability, but I think for what it is, 3-4 hours is kind of what should be expected. And there is a rumor that's, on the current dev kits, that's what its battery life is, around 3 hours. But that remains to be seen if it's going to carry out to retail. Maybe they'll put in a more powerful battery, but I don't think you should expect anything longer than 4 hours, just because this thing seems pretty powerful. The other concern is publishers, third-party publishers. Yes, Nintendo did release a list of all the publishers that are quote-unquote on board on the Switch, but we kind of already saw the same thing with the Wii U, where at the beginning, they reassured us that they have all of these third-party publishers on board with it, and you had Ubisoft coming out with Zombie U and Assassin's Creed 3 and their line of Just Dance games, but then after that it just went way down. They didn't release anything afterwards. It was the same thing with EA. You had Mass Effect 3, you had FIFA and those weird other sports games, and they weren't even the good versions, by the way, because I was pissed off because I did buy the FIFA one. And same thing with Activision. You had Black Ops 3. After that, nothing. So it's concerning still, just to see, because they didn't show off a lot in that trailer. They showed off ports, they showed off Zelda, they showed off Skyrim, which is a 5-year-old game now, but they do have the special edition coming out soon, actually tomorrow, on the 28th. But it is concerning just because they didn't show off games for it from third-party publishers, but we'll see what they do with that. And it's kind of odd that Nintendo would show off Skyrim and then just to have Bethesda come in and they deny that it's even coming to the console. But publishers are weird sometimes. Maybe they just want to not take away sales from the special edition, which comes out tomorrow. I don't know. They've done crazier things, but I highly doubt that Nintendo would show off a game for it not only to be on the console. That'd be tricking your fan base, yo. What else? This isn't really a concern, but just an overall observation. With the Switch being a hybrid, I kind of hope that this isn't the end of the handheld part of Nintendo. And despite mobile taking a good chunk of the market, I still think that there's room for premium handheld gaming. Because how many people do you know that play their mobile games for longer, than 10 minutes or like a train ride? I don't like mobile gaming. I have a smartphone and I never play anything on it aside from endless runners and all that, which Nintendo has Super Mario Run coming out, so everybody will be playing that. But with that being said, it is also kind of exciting to see what Nintendo can do now that all their development will focus on just one console. I'd love to see a full-fledged Pokemon game that I can play on my TV, or another Animal Crossing, or another F-Zero. Cough, cough, hint, hint. Nintendo, do it now. Hashtag F-Zero forever. And I highly doubt that they would completely cut off their handheld line, just because that's kind of been what Nintendo's most profitable at. But maybe they're scared with the whole mobile thing and the 3DS not selling as well as the DS. But I doubt that that's more to do with mobile than just the console itself, because the 3D is pretty niche. But we'll see. I just hope that it's not the end. And what else? Oh, of course, how can I forget the console specs? Everybody wants to know what this thing can do. But I personally don't care that much about graphics, because this thing seems to be somewhere between PS3 and PS4. And considering the type of console that this is, I think that's perfectly acceptable. And if I wanted the best graphics, I would just play on my PC all the time, but that's not why I buy consoles. You buy consoles for that console experience. And people don't really seem to like it when you suggest that it's gameplay over graphics, but you have to remember there were plenty of good looking games on the Wii U, even though it's underpowered. Wind Waker HD and Super Mario 3D World, they look gorgeous. Gorgeous. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that all in all, I am genuinely hyped for the console, and it's something that I haven't found myself feeling towards Nintendo as a whole this generation. I don't know, it's just been kind of meh. The Wii U is pretty much dead in the water, and it's just finally good. It's nice to move away from that whole line of Wii branding, I guess, and, you know, quote unquote go back to the glory days. I don't know what I'm talking about. But in any case, I hope that the Wii U succeeds, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about what the console can do, and more importantly, the games that I'll be playing on it. And with all that being said, again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I would love to know what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked the video, hit like. If you didn't like it, hit dislike. That is your right. Subscribe if you want more content like this. And yeah, just thank you. Select talk. End. Does that work? No? I'll probably think of something. Thanks, guys. Take care.